Other than the auto repair business, it's hard to think of any other marketplace with $80 billion of revenue that has attracted so little innovation and so few of America's smartest entrepreneurs. The college economics textbooks told us that capital and talent are attracted to economic opportunity. But what they didn't tell us is that capital and talent are also attracted to prestige industries and tend to shun low prestige industries. Where do all the Harvard MBAs go? Into the auto repair business? No. They go into financial services, information technology, communications, biotechnology, and other highly prestigious industries. Not surprisingly, because of this, these prestige industries have always been on the leading edge of innovation and investment. But despite the size of the market and the opportunity it presents, the auto repair business has been sorely neglected. It's now time to close the door on the current era in auto repair. Surely one day some bright entrepreneur will come into this industry, deconstruct it component by component, and reconstruct a business model that will be the platform for a major new American retailer. An auto repair concept with radically new service for customers and a much improved cost structure for investors was started in Houston in early 2004. The company's name is Domestic Auto Experts. The entrepreneur behind it has a string of startup successes that includes co-owning and running one startup with Microsoft and another with Ford Motor Company, growing a business for eventual sale to Hewlett-Packard, and growing another to eventually sell to Icon Office Solutions. CCG Venture Partners has carefully and strategically invested more than $11 million in developing the Domestic Auto Experts business model in preparation for a national rollout. Mostly, these have been R&D dollars spent to experiment with various approaches to the business. The result? Today, the two mature DAE shops each generate $1.4 million of revenue a year, several times the national average for similar auto service outlets. On average, each generates more than $200,000 of unit-level profit. A third shop is moving toward maturity, and many more stores are in the works. This is indeed the business model and platform for a rapid national expansion of a new and improved auto service chain and a major new American retail brand. The DAE business model has now been proven in a handful of successful shops, and the rapid national expansion is about to begin. The DAE business model includes hundreds of innovations, but these can be categorized into three overall strategies that guide its success. First, to import 21st century information technologies into this sorely neglected industry, which has been accomplished at DAE primarily via a custom, patented, end-to-end software solution called Toolbox. Second, to create and provide radically new and superior customer experience. And third, to identify, recruit, and retain the very best talent in the auto repair industry. Let's begin with a discussion of the first strategy, importing 21st century information technology via our custom software platform called Toolbox. Toolbox was designed to make radical improvements to what many say are the greatest obstacles to profitability in a retail auto repair operation. The greatest obstacles to profitable retail auto repair, in our view, are: Number 1. Clumsy or poor part shopping procedures. Number 2. Difficulty or time requirement of generating accurate repair estimates. Number 3. Difficulty of getting consistent and accurate customer input on symptoms such that the technician knows how to go about his diagnosis and repair. Number 4. Low customer trust. Number 5. Pressure brought to bear by customers for careless, rush repair services because they can't continue their essential daily routines for lack of alternate means of transportation. Number 6. Employee noncompliance with the standard operating processes designed to enable profitability and customer satisfaction. Number 7. Unauthorized pricing discretion exercised by service writers, either eroding already slim company profits or gouging customers such that they never come back. Number 8. Accounting inaccuracies and inefficiencies leading to poor profitability. And 9. Employees unaware of how their day-to-day behaviors affect daily profitability. Now let's see how Toolbox has been designed to improve performance in each of these key areas. Online part shopping has been slow to catch on in retail auto repair shops. Yes, it's true that today, other shop management systems like RO Writer and Mitchell One are able to link to the individual websites of parts vendors and display one at a time the inventory and pricing available. But we're not aware of any system that enables the shop service writers to quickly comparison shop between multiple parts providers on a single computer screen. To accomplish this type of comparison using other systems available today requires the service writer to toggle back and forth between vendor sites, writing on a piece of scratch paper the details of inventory and pricing that's offered by each individual vendor. Only then can the data from several vendors be compared, so the service consultant can purchase from the side of the vendor offering the best product or price. To make matters worse, if a particular repair requires multiple parts, and it's best to buy each part from separate vendors, then if he's not using Toolbox, he must choose to buy all parts for that repair from just one vendor and forego the better buy he would achieve if he could easily split the order up between vendors. For the first time with Toolbox, the process of comparison shopping and ordering between multiple vendors is made easy and virtually immediate on a single computer screen. As described, Toolbox can simultaneously visit multiple vendor sites, identify the parts required for any particular repair, sort through the various brands offered disregarding the brands that DAE has decided don't meet our quality standards, put all approved choices from any and all vendors all on the same computer screen at the same time, and display a price comparison between these choices. This enables the service writer at the touch of a button to order the parts that will provide the necessary quality at the lowest possible price among all vendors considered. Immediately and easily, both customer satisfaction and shop profitability are protected. Remembering that the bottom line profit target for most auto repair shops is in the single digits, the 2 to 10% in parts cost reduction can do amazing things to the bottom line of a domestic auto expert's shop. Front of house labor costs are a major expense for retail auto repair shops. All shop owners would jump for joy if they could figure out a way to employ fewer service writers but still generate the revenue and give the level of customer service that will keep their business strong. An analysis of the time requirements of a service writer shows that building estimates is the activity that requires the greatest portion of their time. As much as 45 to 60 minutes of time must often be spent to build an accurate estimate for a complex repair. Well, at Domestic Auto Experts, this 45 to 60 minutes has been reduced by 75%. The estimating module of Toolbox has enabled the estimating process to become much quicker and more accurate than ever before. Shop operators have found that it is almost universally the case that it is very difficult, if not impossible, to get service writers to systematically ask customers a sequence of symptom questions that help the technician quickly and accurately diagnose the cause of the needed repair. Toolbox solves this problem by way of the automated check-in process, which, among other things, walks customers through a diagnostic tree, forcing the service writer to ask exactly the right questions at each point to help the technician to understand the symptom subtleties the customer has experienced with their vehicle. The result is more accurate repairs, happier customers, and happier technicians. In addition, many common customer problems can be prevented because Toolbox knows when to present a message screen that will be important to educate the customer and manage the customer expectations. Here's just one example of this. Everyone in the auto repair business knows that when a vehicle with over 100,000 miles needs a repair, the chances are high that during the stress of the repair process, another component on the vehicle unrelated to the primary concern can be stressed to the point of breaking. This usually creates an unpleasant situation where the customer leaves with their vehicle only to call back shortly to tell the shop that during the repair of the primary concern, the technician must have broken something else on the vehicle. Almost always, the customer demands that this second repair be done for free. Toolbox has a solution to prevent such a situation and many others like it. Toolbox automatically presents a warning screen during the automated check-in process when a customer has a vehicle with more than 100,000 miles. This communicates to the customer that repairs to a vehicle of this vintage often result in other needed repairs, and should this occur, it will not be the result of a mistake made by the technician. The result? A customer who is willing to pay for the second repair should it occur, and a service writer who doesn't have to weather one more experience of abuse at the hands of an uneducated customer. Every consumer who goes into an auto shop is worried that they may get taken advantage of. Chief among these concerns is that the repairs or services recommended may not actually be needed. Much of this concern is eliminated at DAE. Customers learn that DAE takes actual digital photos of the areas of concern on their vehicle, emails them, and then they are stored electronically in their customer records. Proof that the repair is really needed. As customers, we've all experienced the single greatest inconvenience that occurs during auto repair: the loss of our means of transportation. Some shops have tried to provide free or for-a-fee rental cars for customers in this dilemma. These shops quickly learn that managing a fleet of rental vehicles is an expensive proposition, far beyond the original cost of the vehicles. The administration and maintenance of these vehicles typically takes significant management time away from the basic operation of the business. The $9 a day rental car program at DAE has been made very streamlined and affordable by the programming in Toolbox. For example, Toolbox always knows which cars are still on the premises and available for rental, which have already been rented out, how current the maintenance is on each vehicle, and many more of the other complexities that are very expensive to oversee without Toolbox. In fact, Toolbox has been so successful in streamlining the $9 a day rental program at DAE that renting these vehicles at just $9 a day can actually be a break-even proposition for a well-run DAE shop. Imagine providing customers $9 a day rentals without any net cost to the shop. Toolbox can do this. The last 50 years has seen an explosion of national retail chains in all market segments. Obviously, one of the secrets to retail success on a national level has been the retailer's ability to affordably standardize business processes and enforce employee process compliance so that the customers can experience a consistency of service across a large number of business locations coast to coast. In the last 15 years, it has become central to this standardization strategy to use a sophisticated software backbone to monitor and enforce essential employee compliance with those standard business processes that are required to assure profitability and customer satisfaction. This can never be accomplished with an off-the-shelf software platform. The platform must be custom-built to know and fit the unique business processes of each specific retailer. The programming of Toolbox began in the spring of 2004. Today, the Toolbox system is built to enforce employee compliance with DAE business processes, protecting our profitability and the customer experience. In other auto service shops, because the off-the-shelf shop management systems don't usually have sophisticated enough algorithms to account for the many complexities of ideal pricing, much pricing discretion is typically left to the service writer. This can work well when the shop owner himself waits on customers and is deciding himself what prices to charge. But in a rapid national rollout, where there is obviously not an owner-caliber person in each shop, pricing has to be standardized. Pricing discretion must be taken away from the service writer and be managed by computer. But this must be done in a way that prevents both the under- and overpricing, which can result from a computer algorithm that can't approximate the complex human thought and good business judgment that a shop owner could provide. The black box pricing module Toolbox largely accomplishes just this. Because of the sophistication of the pricing algorithms built into Toolbox, we believe pricing computations within Toolbox do take into account the necessary complexities. So pricing discretion can and has been taken away from the service writer without the downside of over and underpricing that would occur with a less complex algorithm. The result? Reduced customer dissatisfaction due to price gouging, and reduced profit erosion because of unauthorized and unnecessary discounting. Anyone who has experience in operating an auto repair shop knows that typically accounting accuracy is so poor that most shop owners can see their entire 5 to 10% potential profit margin disappear unaccounted for. There are many reasons for this, but the most difficult obstacle to accurate auto shop accounting is the just-in-time nature of the parts acquisition process. Very few parts are kept in inventory. Almost all parts requirements are filled by ordering them in real time from nearby auto parts shops. This creates accounting pandemonium. Accurate accounting for auto parts requires a system that can track the path or the history of every single part, whether or not it was ordered correctly and whether or not it was provided correctly by the vendor. We know of no system other than Toolbox that has this level of capability. Typically, retail auto shops put their daily focus on revenue as the prime indicator of likely profit performance. Said another way, daily management conversations focus on revenue, not profits. Why don't shop owners, operators, and GMs talk about profits each day rather than revenue? Aren't profits the real goal? Isn't it true that revenues have only an approximate rather than a precise correlation to profits? The reason is that while other shop management systems allow revenue to be measured, we believe there are none that allow profits to be measured daily. Usually, without Toolbox, a shop manager has to wait until 15 days after the end of the month to find out if his previous month's revenue turned into the expected profit. Because of this, Management and employees can't make a frequent, ready connection between their day-by-day behaviors and the impact those behaviors have on the bottom line. The result is that the opportunity to improve performance by comparing and relating behaviors to profitability is only presented monthly, 12 times each year when the monthly financial statements are published. That is not enough iterations and spread too far apart to allow employees to get a clear picture of how their daily process compliance impacts profitability. In a nutshell, there are not enough opportunities to learn from mistakes and improve. Toolbox does permit precise insight into daily profit performance. By way of its daily P&L function, Toolbox has provided not 12, but 365 chances each year to review financial performance and relate it to daily compliance with behaviors and processes. Not only each shop, but even each service writer is provided a daily P&L statement from the previous day. As discussed, there are three main strategies that guide DAE. The first, which we discussed in the previous section of this video, is to import 21st century information technologies into this sorely neglected industry, which has seen so little innovation in IT. The third, which we'll discuss in the next and final section of this video, is to identify, recruit, and retain the very best talent in the auto repair industry. But the second, which we'll discuss in this section, is to provide a radically new and superior customer experience. The service features that produce a superior customer experience fall into several categories. They include $9 a day rental cars, the option for customers to watch their repair live on the internet, a website offering that is so superior that it converts an unusually high percentage of those searching the internet for an auto repair service into customers walking in our doors, faster and more responsive service than provided by other auto shops, noticeably superior employees, a bundle of internal processes that greatly reduce customer apprehension that we may deal with them dishonestly, and finally, a very thorough complaint management system that seeks out customer complaints to do whatever it takes to satisfy the disgruntled customer. It's clear that, from the customer standpoint, the most painful and frustrating part of the auto repair experience is doing without an alternate means of transportation during the repair process. With other shops, it's common that the customer must make arrangements with friends or family to secure some alternate means of transportation in order to continue their daily routine. At DAE, for $9 a day and with no reservation necessary, customers are provided a 4 to 5 year old mid-sized car like a Taurus or Malibu to use during service. In a well-run DAE shop, the $9 a day charge actually can cover all the direct expenses of managing and maintaining the fleet. And DAE also gets the benefits of 15 or so of these vehicles driving around each trade area, displaying the DAE trade dress, giving exposure to DAE. DAE customers love watching their repair happening live on the internet. Our internet tracking metrics show us that many of our customers actually do check in on their vehicle to make sure they like what they're seeing in regards to the progress on the repair. Many of our customers come to us after searching for auto repair on the internet. Arriving at our site, they find information that they would find at no other auto service website, information that enhances the customer experience. This includes a map that shows the customer's immediate neighborhood and a small dot representing each neighbor who's used DAE in the past, the DAE service history for their vehicles, the ability to schedule appointments online, a listing of any recommended repairs the customer refused on an earlier visit and still remain to be done, a historical inventory of digital photos of problem areas needing repair or service on their vehicles, and of course, the ability to watch their repairs happen live on the internet. DAE customers experience faster service than customers of other auto shops. Within DAE, for example, we have the 90-minute rule, which requires our service personnel to call the customer with a diagnosis and estimate within 90 minutes of the vehicle drop-off. Also, it's planned that customers will be kept updated with cellular text messages as to the status of the repair progress. How convenient is that? Just walking into any DAE shop, it's clear that our personnel are superior to other shops, better educated, better dressed, and more helpful. Yes, there's an additional cost for us there, but we find that we are more than paid back by the customer satisfaction that results. Obviously, the matter of trust is very important to the auto service consumer. Briefly, here is a list of things we do at DAE to improve our trustworthiness, as well as the customer's perception of our trustworthiness. We take digital photos of the vehicle's area of concern, For example, broken or worn parts. The photos are emailed to the customers to validate that the repair or service is needed. Technicians are not allowed to recommend a repair or service until it's visually validated by a second employee, one of our front house service personnel. A 10% profit promise from DAE ensures that prices will be moderated such that our profits don't exceed 10 cents out of each sales dollar. A mandatory whistleblower policy requires any and every employee to not only maintain personal honesty in relation to the customers, but also requires them under penalty of termination to report any act of dishonesty they become aware of on the part of any other employee. Even with all these steps we take to see that our customers have a good experience at DAE, there are still occasional disgruntled customers. At DAE, every customer is contacted either by phone or postcard and encouraged to complain if there was anything about their experience that wasn't satisfactory. This enables DAE to rectify many situations where an unsatisfied customer may have just left us for a competitor. As discussed earlier, DAE is pursuing three main strategies in moving towards its overall goals of national expansion. As discussed in its own section of this video, one strategy is to import 21st century technologies common in other industries into this neglected industry that has seen so little IT innovation. Second, in another section of this video, we discuss the strategy of providing the customer a radically new and superior experience in auto service. Now, our third strategy is this: identifying, recruiting, and retaining truly superior employees. We're covering this strategy in the current section of this video. To get a little housekeeping out of the way, let's start by saying that we do employ all or most of the current common HR best practices, such as providing up-to-date equipment for our employees, offering a superior benefits package, holding to a promote from within philosophy, drug testing and background checking before making hires, providing incentive compensation and impactful recognition programs for superior employee performance, excellent new hire training programs, ongoing recruiting and training programs that are executed every single workday, whether we have a current opening or not, and the like. We won't take lots of time in this video to discuss these well-known best practices. However, there are some other HR approaches not employed in other auto service companies that deserve mention. DAE is the only company we know of in any industry that requires of each employee 15 minutes of daily training. The curriculum is the very same as that presented in the new hire training programs. But we believe in the teaching philosophy known as spaced repetition, which claims, and we believe it, that the best learning is done regularly and a little bit at a time over a long period of time. To accomplish this, several times each week, each and every employee is required to complete an online training module that reviews key training points. The program that accomplishes this training has modules that report back to management as to which employees have accomplished the required training and what score was achieved on the relevant test. This daily training program has been a huge advantage for DAE. Another innovation at DAE is found in a tool we call Process Checklists. These are back pocket-sized, laminated cards that have 30 to 50 short phrases on them that summarize the required processes and behaviors for each job description. Employees are required to carry them and refer to them regularly. They are continuously updated as the job requirements evolve over time. The new hire training and daily training programs are both organized in the same sequence and categories as the process checklists. To see the value of this approach, consider the alternatives most commonly employed at other companies. One alternative is the use of process manuals of hundreds of pages with all processes and behaviors described in detail. The problem with this? In the rush and crush of business, they are a cumbersome reference tool. Except in new hire training, they would rarely ever be used. The other alternative is no documentation to guide and remind employees as to the expectations of their job title and description. The middle ground, we feel, is process checklists. By using them, we avoid the pitfalls obvious in the other alternatives. As simple as this innovation is, we find it to be very effective. A touchscreen employee performance board is located in every DAE shop where management sees that items of interest to employees are posted electronically. From pictures of the recent employee fishing trip to stack rankings of important employee metrics or statistics, it's our belief that key information needs to be provided by the company directly to the employee rather than just to unit management, where often company metrics and communications tend to get bottlenecked. In every DAE shop, there's often a short line of employees waiting their turn to get to surf around the information put on the Employee Performance Board. Another extraordinary measure we take at DAE to accomplish our strategy goal of identifying, recruiting, and training truly superior employees is our MVP Partner Program, where the top 15% of employees are granted an equity stake and attend a quarterly MVP Partners Dinner with spouses. Whenever we identify an employee in any job title that we feel we can't do without, we make them an MVP partner to increase our chances of retaining them. DAE employs a 360 review program where monthly, every shop employee is asked to rank every coworker on 5 key attributes: honesty, hard work, loyalty, easy to get along with, and competence. This program literally makes every shop employee accountable to every other shop employee, substantially augmenting the oversight normally provided by management alone. Because of this, in a DAE location, there's really nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for the poor employee. They are always quickly exposed by their peers. Finally, DAE's radically innovative approach to the business is a great advantage in our recruiting effort. People who know the auto repair business can easily see that DAE has many innovations and advantages that make it a great place to build a career and a place to be proud to work. Thus, it's easier for us to recruit the best talent than it is for our competitors. In this video, we've discussed the goals of DAE and the 3 key strategies we're using to accomplish them. Bring 21st century information technologies into this sorely neglected industry that lags far behind other industries in this regard. Provide a truly superior customer experience. And identify, recruit, and retain the best talent in the auto service business. So far, these strategies have served DAE well and give us a unique and legitimate shot at accomplishing our goals. Thanks for listening.